Hey, so what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about the iPhone 17. And it's really just because what has the iPhone 17 done? And it's really just changed the game. And so, as always, you guys, there are going to be skippable chapters and video notes that way you guys can skip along, not stopping you here. But if you enjoyed that last video was an overview of the iPhone Air. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely click up here. That video is a banger, and how, it really shapes the future of the iPhone. But the iPhone 17, I'm going to run through a quick overview of the phone because this year Apple did a lot of new things. First of all, the colors of the phone actually look good. I will say that sky blue color, or that, the blue color that they introduced for this phone looks awesome. And the sage green one also looks very nice and vibrant. Apple is finally getting back to doing cool colors for the cool phones. So, love to hear it. The phone itself is rocking a 120 hertz panel, which is super nice because that is going to allow for 3000 nits of peak brightness as well as a ProMotion display, giving you the capabilities to have the always on display technology, but also better battery life coming in at 30 hours, which this better battery life is definitely something, to take in because if you think about it, Apple's non-pro phones, the 16, it had a 60 hertz refresh rate. And if you compare it to 120 hertz, it's able to actually, refresh all the way down to 1 hertz as you're scrolling on pages. It can pause the screen. It can speed up whenever you're playing games or different things like that. And so Apple definitely was, super nice to include this feature. The other feature that we only thought was coming to the Pro phones, but it also apparently came to the iPhone 17, was the dual camera capture. Now, this feature is already available in different applications such as Snapchat or other third party apps, but Apple has finally introduced it into the camera app itself. The dual capture feature is super nice when it comes, for videoing, seeing what you're doing, but then also, getting that facial reaction and that interaction. And Apple also introduced the center stage camera, which, see, we thought was only going to come to the Pro phones because, Apple's kind of been limiting the Pro features for the Pro phones. But the center stage camera is definitely super nice. It's a 24 megapixel camera. It takes 18 megapixel photos. It's a square sensor, so it's basically able to easily crop, or I will just say adjust the frame based on how many people are in the photo. And so I definitely think that the center stage camera is a game changer, and I could see other companies copying this idea. Here's why, the YouTube title was Forget About the Pro. The reason why I tell you to forget about the Pro is because Apple actually made the Pro a reason to get a phone, like to get a Pro phone. The Pro name now actually means Pro. If you want a telephoto lens, to zoom into 8x, get a Pro. If you want that cool vapor chamber, get a Pro. If you want maybe a little bit more battery life and sustained performance with that A19 Pro and the 12 gigs of RAM, get a Pro. The thing about the iPhone 17 is that it has 8 gigs of RAM, A19 chip. It's faster now, obviously, with better performance, and it's faster than the M1 chip. So if you're not looking for a Pro phone, then just get the 17. The 17 is probably the best option for a flagship today. It's also probably the best option that Apple has had in a very long time, coming in at $799. Now, if you compare that to what Google is calling their flagship, the $900 Google Pixel, well, then yeah, Apple is definitely kicking Google's butt right now. You're getting better camera processing. You're probably not going to get AI because Apple Intelligence is a joke, but you're getting better camera processing. You're getting, a more, I would say, a more friendly user experience, just because Google's still kind of getting used to this whole game. Not that Google's like bad or anything. I still think that Google's a great phone, especially the Pixels. But I think that if you're going to an iPhone, I feel like you're going to get a little bit of a better user experience and a little bit more out of that phone. But overall, if you want a Pro phone, make sure you understand the whole reasons, because see, Apple made the Pro phones able to, use Gen Lock support, ProRes, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 8K recording in the next couple of months because software updates. Not that Apple put the hardware in there. If you want a phone that is going to be a great phone for great value, the 17 is where it's at. And it makes no sense because Apple is the most greedy company. But it starts, base storage is 256 gigs. And so that's awesome if you think about it, because not only are phone companies still using the 128 gig base storage, but having 256 gigs of storage, you can record so much more with a base iPhone. I'm recording on a base iPhone 13 right now, and it's doing all of this for me. So there, there you go. But let me know what you guys think about this whole update. What is a pro phone? And that's going to be our next video. So definitely stay tuned for that. Get subscribed, because the iPhone 17 Pro review is definitely going to come out pretty soon, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. If you're a normal everyday user and you don't need all those cameras and you don't need all those features, you don't play as many games, you don't need a vapor chamber, get a 17. It's so much better for your money. Anyway, until the next one, you guys, hope you have a good one. I'm out. Peace.